कर्माणि क्रीडान् विदते तेजको सुरणं क्षमया कर्माणि अवतार विदेहि मनो न तृप्ते अपि शृणुत्वं न शुश्रूक मोडे चरितम् अमृतानि क्रीडान् manifesting pastimes vidhate he performs Dija twice born go cows Suranam of the demigods Khemaya welfare Karmani transcendental activities Avatara incarnations Vedai differently Manaha mind Na never Tripyati satisfies Api in spite of Srunatvam continuously hearing Na Avar so sloka auspicious Moleh of the Lord Charita characteristics Amritani undying translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada. You may narrate also about the auspicious characteristics of the Lord in his different incarnations for the welfare of the twice born, the cows, and the demigods. Our minds are never satisfied completely, although we continuously hear of his transcendental activities. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. The Lord appears in this universe in different incarnations like Matsya, Kurma, Baraha, and Nrsimha, and he manifests his different transcendental activities for the welfare of the twice born, the cows, and the demigods. The Lord is directly concerned with the twice born or civilized man. A civilized man is one who has taken his birth twice. A living entity takes his birth in his mundane world due to the union of male and female. A human being is born due to the union of father and mother, but a civilized human being has another birth by contact with a spiritual master who becomes the actual father. The father and mother of the material body are so only in one birth, and in the next birth the father and mother may be a different couple, but the bona fide spiritual master, as the representative of the Lord, is the eternal father, because the spiritual master has the responsibility to lead the disciple to spiritual salvation, or the ultimate goal of life. Therefore, a civilized man must be twice born, otherwise he is no more than the lower animals. The cow is the most important animal for developing the human body to perfection. The body can be maintained by any kind of foodstuff, but cow's milk is particularly essential for developing the finer tissues of the human brain so that one can understand the intricacies of transcendental knowledge. A civilized man is expected to live on foodstuffs comprising fruits, vegetables, grains, sugar, and milk. The bull helps in the agricultural process of producing grains, etc. And thus, in one sense, the bull is the father of humankind, whereas the cow is the mother. First, he supplies milk to human society. A civilized man is therefore expected to give all protection to the bulls and cows. The demigods of the living entities who live in the higher planets are far superior to human beings. Since they have better arrangements for living conditions, they live far more luxuriously than human beings. Yet, they are all devotees of the Lord. The Lord incarnates in different forms, such as those of a fish, tortoise, hog, and a combined lion and man, just to give protection to civilized man. The cow and the demigods, who are directly responsible for the regulative life of progressive self-realization. The whole system of the material creation is planned so that the conditioned souls may have the opportunity for self-realization. One who takes advantage of such an arrangement is called a demigod or a civilized man. The cow is meant to help maintain such a high standard of living. The Lord's pastime for the protection of the twice-born civilized man, the cows and the demigods are all transcendental. A human being is inclined to hear good narrations and stories, and therefore there are so many books, magazines, and newspapers on the market to satisfy the interest of the developed soul. But the pleasure in such literature after it is read once becomes stale, and people do not take any interest in reading such literature repeatedly. In fact, newspapers are read for less than an hour and then thrown in the dustbins as rubbish. The case is similar with all other mundane literatures. But the beauty of transcendental literatures like Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam is that they never become old. They have been read in the entire world by civilized man for the last 5,000 years. And they have never become old. They are ever fresh to the learned scholars and devotees. And even by daily repetition of the verse of Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam, there is no satiation for devotees like Vidura. Vidura might have heard the pastimes of the Lord many times before he met Maitreya, but still he wanted the same narrations to be repeated because he was never satiated by hearing them. That is the transcendental nature of the Lord's glorious pastimes. Om Ajnana-timirandhasya Jnananjana-salakaya Chakkhunultam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namah Sri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadanti Swapadantikam वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरुवैष्णवंश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सहगण ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितं च हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगतपते गोपेश गोपिकांत राधाकांत नमस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये पंचकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमो जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवसादि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे लीलाचल निवासाय नित्याय परमात्मने बलभद्राय सुभद्राभ्यां जगन्नाथाय ते नमः. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Thank you for giving me an opportunity to glorify this beautiful verse of Srimad Bhagavatam on a beautiful day of Bharadodasi. Though I am not qualified, but I will try my best to glorify the Supreme Personality of Godhead for my own purification. So here if we see that Viduraja's, how the Viduraja's emotions are, related. Viduraja's emotions basically here is diametrically opposite. In the previous verse, we saw that while departing from this world, Sri Krishna mentioned to Uddhavji that Uddhavji, he was mentioning about Vidurji to Uddhavji. So Uddhavji mentioned to Vidurji that before leaving this material planet, Krishna was mentioning about Vidurji. So Vidurji was extremely overwhelmed by looking at the causeless mercy of Supreme Personal Godhead Krishna. And on the other side, Vidurji is also sad because he realized that Krishna is no more. So he is thinking how fortunate I am. Krishna thought about me before leaving. And how distressed I am, how unfortunate I am because Krishna is no more in this world. So as per Uddhava's instruction, Vidura has approached Maitreya to acquisition of additional knowledge. So we know that Vidura himself is, he is Dharmaraj. He is just playing his role here. He is definitely, well conversant with this transcendental knowledge. But still, Vidura is inquiring submissively to Maitreya. Vidura is not saying here that I know this particular pastime, tell me something different. Vidura is just inquiring everything from Supreme Personality Godhead, so that more he is listening, he is becoming more and more satisfied. His thirst to learn about Krishna is not getting fulfilled. Now here in this particular verse, Prabhupada has mentioned that Krishna's appearance in this earthly planet is for three different entities. One is the Dvija, the Brahmana, and the other one is the cows, and the next one is the demigods. So here Prabhupada has mentioned that we all are born from a parents. Like every living being has a father and mother. Without father and mother, nobody can take birth. So that is a normal life, because if you are here, definitely you have a father. You should have a father. You should have a father. But as per Vedic civilization, this is not an important thing, because since everybody have a father, the real important thing is for the second birth. What is the second birth? That is the Ditya Janma. That is called a Dvija. It's basically when you are second time your birth is that, then you are called a real civilized man. How this happens? According to Vedic civilization, by the sanskar or the purification process, one is initiated, that is called Dvija. Like in ISKCON, we all chant 16 rounds, then we take shelter, then the purification process starts, then we learn so many things, then if you become a really a Brahman. And here it is mentioned that by this second birth, the spiritual master has become the father and the Vedic knowledge has become the mother. So with the help of a spiritual master, one gets acquisition of transcendental knowledge, then he understands who is Supreme Personality Godhead and what is the relationship of him, of the jiva with him. So by birth, everyone is a Sudra. By the sanskara, the Sudra gets uplifted to a Brahmana. So samskarat bhabe dvija janmana jayate Sudraha. So simply by ordinary birth, by father and mother, we all are Sudra. And how a Sudra is elevated to a Brahmana, that is called civilization. How that happens? That happens by the Sadachara, the proper etiquette. What is the etiquette here? The etiquette here is following the 4 regulative principles here, and by the proper education and chanting, and always glorifying the of the Harikatha. So what are the 4 regulative principles here? No chanting, no meat eating, no illicit sex, and no gambling. Now, after this, all this process is followed, and with the proper, sanskara, then you become a real qualified Brahmana. Now, in Bhagavad Gita, it mentioned in the chapter 18, it is mentioned what are the qualities of a Brahmana. Samo damo tapo saucham kyantir avirjam evacha jnanam vigyanam astikyam brahma karma sabdajam. So it says here the 9 qualities of Brahmanas are peacefulness, self-control, austerity, purity, tolerance, honesty, wisdom, knowledge, and religiousness. So basically, with the help of spiritual master, one gets transcendental knowledge. That is called the second path. Now here, if we see the picture here, Narad Muni is like blessing Dhruva Maharaj. So Dhruva Maharaj was a small boy. He left home, and and Narad Muni instructed him that you meditate on you chant Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya and meditate. So Narad Muni, when he comes and sees that Dhruva Maharaj is progressing transcendentally, he is approaching the ultimate goal, he is becoming very, very satisfied. So basically, Narad Muni is satisfied as a material father, as a Grihastha father, becomes satisfied by looking the progress of his son. So similarly, Narad Muni also is getting satisfied. Like Srila Prabhupada always gets satisfied by looking how the disciples are getting progress in the Krishna consciousness. So here, Narad Muni has the responsibility to lead Dhruva Maharaj and Prahlad, his disciples, for the spiritual salvation or the ultimate goal of life. And similarly, all the gurus, they have why they are called gurus, because they have the real responsibility to lead the disciple for the spiritual salvation or the ultimate goal. So in our Guru Vandana prayer, we say that Chakyutan Diloje Janme Janme Prabhu se. Basically, what happens here that the guru is basically is connected with you life after life. Our parents are basically for this life. Next life we will be having a different parents. But our spiritual master and Srila Prabhupada, basically since he is connecting us with Krishna, that is not at the material level, that is at the spiritual level. So that will be that spiritual father will be life after life, birth after birth. So here, since he who has given me the gift of transcendental vision of my Lord is my eternal father. Now, Prabhupada, to one of his disciples, wrote a beautiful quote about his eternal father. I just want to read it here. You have asserted me as father, so I have also asserted you as my dear and real son. Relationship of father and son on spiritual platform is real and eternal. On the material platform, such relationships is ephemeral and temporary. Although I cannot give you anything as father, still I can pray to Krishna for a more and more advancement in Krishna consciousness. Your sincerity and service mode will always help you in advancing your genuine cause. Now, we all know that how Krishna used to love the cows. And in Vrindavan, he has launched so many pastimes with the cows. Now, why Krishna used to love the cows? Because milk is very particular. Krishna is setting an example that how the cows and bulls are essential. Milk is very particularly needed for our developing of our human brain. We can eat anything, rice, pulses and grains and fruits and flowers and survive. But for the development of our brain, we need milk. In Chaitanya Charitamrita it says, Krishna Jai Bhaje Sei Bada Chatur. One who takes to Krishna consciousness seriously and perfectly, he must be very, very intelligent. Krishna consciousness is not for the less intelligent person. Now, once we drink the milk, we become intelligent in the other way. So basically, the cow is our mother and bull is the father. From the cow, we get the milk, and from the bull, with the help of the bull, we do cultivation, and we grow so many vegetables and pulses. Then that's why the bull is our father. Now Krishna is fond of so many cows here. As you see the picture here, Krishna is milking the cows and the Gopa boys are enjoying. So Krishna is called Gopala, basically protector of the cows, and Krishna is also called as Govinda because he is the pleasure giving the senses and the cows. So our regular bhoga offering prayer, we all are offering bhogas with this mantra. Namo Gobrahmana Devaya Gobrahmana Hitaya Cha Jagat Hitaya Krishnaya Govindaya Namo Namo. So basically here it says that we are worshipping to the deity form of Krishna, who is the well-wisher of the cows and the Brahmanas, and who is always thinking to the benefit of the whole world. And we are offering our obeisances to him. Now, again, Prabhupada has mentioned here about Krishna's incarnations. So based on the need and of the yuga or the kalpa, Krishna takes different incarnations. Krishna takes the incarnation of a beast, tortoise, boar, and a combined lion and a man form for the protection of the cows, brahmanas, and the demigods. Like on this today's Baraha Dwadasi, this is Baraha Dwadasi, so the discussion of Baraha is going on all around. So Baraha is basically Krishna's boar incarnation. So Krishna, to protect the mother earth, he took the form of a boar. because Hiranyaksha was got a boon that no animals can kill him, and in that animal his boat name was not there. So Krishna took the form of a boat to lift the drowning planet Earth from the Garbhodaka Asura with his tusks. And Krishna did, here first he took the form of Vishuddha Varaha and to lift the earth. Then he took the form of Virakta Varaha to kill Hiranyaksha with his tusks. Now in the previous verse, it is mentioned that Sarvam Kalam Ida Brahma. In the I think 3.5.6 it is mentioned that there is nothing but the Lord and He is one without a second. So basically, as discussed here, the Almighty Lord can appear in any form without being contaminated by the material conception. And with a material vision, we cannot, perceive the spiritual nature. We need really mercy to do that. And Lord can take up any form. He can take the form of an Archa Vigraha. So with this, let us just meditate on a beautiful story of Gauridas Pandit. So Gauridas Pandit was a disciple of Lord Nityananda. So Gauridas Pandit was very, very affectionate to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Nityananda. So before entering into each Jagannath pastime and pastime before taking sannyas, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Nityananda visited Ambikanagar to go to meet Gauridas Pandit. Basically, the purpose was to do Sankirtan and take farewell from Gauridas Pandit. So now Gauridas Pandit is hosting Nimai and Nitai. So after spending so much time nicely, Gauridas Pandit satisfied, serving both the Prabhus very beautifully. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu one day called and told his desire that, I'm going to leave now. I'm going to leave Navadip and I'm going to go to Jagannath Puri. So by listening this, Gauridas Pandit was very sad. He was overwhelmed. He felt the intense pangs of separation. Then he begged Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, please don't go. Please stay here. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told, no, I must go. There are so many disciples. How long can I stay here? Then Gauridas Pandit told, in the Krishna form, you left the gopis and you never come back. And in this pastime also, if you are going to live here, then I am definitely going to die. Please stay here. Please do. If you are really Bhakta Basar, if you have really little bit mercy on me, please stay in Ambikanagar. Please don't go. So then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu decided, okay, I'll stay some more time. Then while leaving, again the same story started. Then Nityananda suggested that let's have a deity form of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and let deity form and you can worship them. Mahaprabhu replied, no, I'm surviving in this world. I'm living. I cannot have a deity form. So Gauridas Pandit, anyway, there are a lot of persuasion going on. Finally, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu agreed to have a deity form. So a wooden deity form of Nimai Nitai was carved, and it came to Gauridas Pandit's house. Now Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told, see Gauridas, we have the deity form of mine, who is no other than me. You worship him. Now I'm going to do my Sankirtan in Jagannath Puri. So Gauridas Pandit, again looking at the deity form and Nimai Nitai, they saw they are all same. And he told, no, you still cannot go. You all four of us. You stay here. I don't want you to leave from this place. So then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told that my deities and me, they are not different. So you can worship my deities. Let me go. Since Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Bhakta Basar, he cannot hurt Gauridas Pandit and cannot leave Gauridas Pandit just like that without convincing him. See how much mercy Mahaprabhu has. Then Gauridas Pandit is also very, very intelligent. He is disciple of Nityananda. Definitely he will be very intelligent. So he told, see, just now you told that your deities and you are non-different. So let's do one thing. You stay here, let your deities go. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told, okay, let that be happen, so be it. So immediately the deities, they were standing raising their hand like our deities in our temple. So immediately the deities put their hand down and they started walking. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Nityananda, they became the deity form. Then again Gauridas Pandit got confused. What's going on? They are leaving. Then again he stood at the door. No, you cannot go now. So then Mahaprabhu told, what is this going on? Now you have to stay, let the deities go. Again, the same change happened. The deities became Gauritai became the deities. Like that, 4 times it happened. At the end, Gauridas Pandit gave up. He told, now at this moment, I cannot tell who is the original one, who is going to stay here, I cannot say. Anyway, I'm tired now. I'm going to get Prashabhoga for you. You all fast eat. So then he fed everybody very nicely. So Gauridas Pandit could understand the oneness of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Then after taking prasad and after comforting, giving solace to Gauridas Pandit, the real Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Nityananda, they left. And Gauridas Pandit survived with the deities form of Gauritai. So now Gauridas Pandit was getting older. He used to take good care of Gauritai. one fine day he will imagine that he want to decorate Gaur-Nitya with diamond jewelries. Morning he will get up, he will see that Gaur-Nitya is decorated already with the diamond jewelries. So he used to get up early in the morning, get rice and get so many sacks and vegetables. He will cook for them. And Gaur-Nitya in the day Tiffin was taking the service from Gauridas Pandit, and he was enjoying. So Gauridas Pandit also is in place, and Child Master Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also is enjoying. And here Mahaprabhu's sannyas and the Jagannath Puri Leela has also started. And Gauridas Pandit was getting older, and he has one disciple. His name was Hridayananda. So once Gauridas Pandit has to go out somewhere, so he requested Hridayananda, you take care of my deities for some time. So Hridayananda was following the Guru's order. He was taking care of the deities. Now Gaur Purnima was approaching, appearance day of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was approaching. So Hridayananda was waiting. Since Gauridas Pandit did not arrive, he started inviting few devotees and to arrange a small program, Sankirtan program kind of thing. So in the meanwhile, Gauridas Pandit came, and he was very happy to see that. But out of the way, he showed little bit disagreement. He told, yeah, okay, you do whatever you like. Then with Gauridas Pandit's permission, Hridayananda conducted a Sankirtan program near the Ganges. So nearby a very wealthy businessman was coming that time with lot of groceries and everything. So with the help of him, they conducted a huge feast, and lot of disciples, lot of devotees from wherever they all came to do the Sankirtan for there. Now when the Sankirtan is going on, and here the Gaur-Nitya deities are staying in Gauridas Pandit house, looking at the Sankirtan, they could not stay inside. So they left Gauridas Pandit house and they went to the Sankirtan area. So in Sankirtan area, they started doing Sankirtan. Now Gauridas Pandit came inside. He saw that with the bhoga, he saw Gaur-Nitya is not there. He couldn't understand. Yeah, where are they? So he got mad. There was a stick nearby. He held a stick and chased near to the Sankirtan area. So there, looking at, Gauridas Pandit is coming and looking, understanding his mood that he will become sad and mad now. Immediately Gaur-Nitya disappeared. So Gauridas Pandit is seeing that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Nityananda is leaving that area and entering the heart of Hridayananda. Realizing this, Gauridas Pandit, he cried profusely. He hugged Hridayananda and he told, today I could understand how omnipotent my Lord is. He is no different than his Archa Vigraha. And since Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has resided in your heart, from today onwards, you will be known as Hridaya Chaitanya. Now, this is the boar form. I just wanted to show it here. How in the boar form, he has rescued the Madarat and destroyed Hiranyaksha. Now, in the last paragraph, Krishna has Srila Prabhupada has mentioned how this modern literature cannot feed our soul. So the modern literature, so many newspapers, so many novels, so many storybooks, so many television serials are there, but still, you can watch them only once. They basically cannot satisfy you. So many film songs are there. Basically, they are just only one time. But Harinam, Harikatha, everything is Ananta. They are always blissful, always new, like Krishna. Like every Janmashtami, we are so excited in the same mood. Last year we do something else, this year we'll do something else. Every year there will be different bhogas. We keep on adding and adding. We never get tired of it. Now, this transcendental sound vibration of the Lord is no different from no different from Krishna, and it is the infinite source of inspiration. Now, both Hari and Harikatha, they are all Ananta. Now, once Rukminiji, while serving Krishna, he was just meditating on Krishna's lotus feet. So Krishna came to meet Rukmini. So Rukmini Devi was washing Krishna's feet. Then immediately few teardrops came from Rukmini's eyes. So Krishna was confused why Rukminiji is crying. So he inquired that Rukmini, you are my very dear master. Why you are crying? So Rukmini Devi was crying uncontrollably. So Rukmini Devi told, Krishna, you know everything. How is that you don't understand the heart of one who is holding your lotus feet? You really need to cultivate this Radhava, the mood of Srimati Radharani. He has real selfless love for you within her heart. Till you do not develop that Radhava, you cannot understand why I am crying. What is the mood of separation? You won't understand that. So to understand this Radhava, Sri Krishna came as the form of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Now, after finishing this Navati pastime, when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is coming to Jagannath Puri, Sachimata requested Gadadhar Pandit not to leave Chaitanya Mahaprabhu alone. So Gadadhar Pandit was a Kshetra sannyasi in Jagannath Puri, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was residing in Jagannath Puri. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and there we'll discuss now what is the discussion of the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Gadadhar Pandit here. Now, every day early morning, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu will leave Gambhira. He will take his shower. He will go to Jagannath Puri, take darshan, do some kirtan, and he will meet all the devotees there, and then he will take Jagannath Mahaprasad from there. He will meet Haridas Thakur. He will do some discussion. He will do some japa with him. Then he will go to Kasi Misra, give him some prasad, meet Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, some discussion will go on. Then he will run to Tota Gopinath and to meet here Gadadhar Pandit. So Tota Gopinath basically is kind of, there in Puri, they say it is Gupta Vrindavan. And here the Gopinath deity, if you see here, is a unique form of deity. He is basically sitting in position, and here Radha and Lalita ji, they are in black form. So there is a different story how that happened, and we may discuss it later on. So these beautiful deities was a gift from Krishna Chaitanya to Gadadhar Pandit. So now what do these two brothers Gadai and Nimai will do? They will discuss only Harikatha. Day after day they will discuss about Harikatha. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu will every day run to Tota Gopinath just to listen to Harikatha from Gadadhar Pandit. So what will they discuss? They will discuss about Dhruva Maharaj, about Prahlad, all the pastimes about Krishna they will discuss. Here the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, who is here, who is staying as Gopinath here, he is listening. And who is also listening? Listening Krishna in the form of Chaitanya, who is also listening. And who is telling the story? Radharani herself is telling the story, because Gadadhar Pandit and Radharani, they are not different. Radharani is to assist in Krishna's pastime. Radharani came is in the form of Gadadhar Pandit. So Gadadhar is telling about the Harikatha, about the pastimes of Krishna, and who is listening? So when Krishna is listening in front of Krishna. So this is so beautiful. So when we go to Tota Gopinath, we can feel the transcendental vibration over there. So this goes on, like daily, 18 years it goes on. So every day after class is ending, our Mahaprabhu will say, Gadai, tell me more. The same story, he will ask to tell me more. He won't tell Gadai, tell me something different. No, he will tell Gadai, tell me more. And Gadai will again narrate. So they will forget everything and totally immersed in the Harikatha. So whoever are nearby, they will also listen about this. So this goes on all the time. So now one fine day, Lord Nityananda, came to Jagannath Puri to take darshan of Mahaprabhu and Jagannath Puri. So tomorrow is Nityananda Troyodosi, so let's just touch upon this pastime for 2 to 3 minutes. So Nityananda came to Jagannath Puri. So when Nityananda came, he first met Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, then his associates, then he came to Jagannath Puri. So when he entered by looking at the beautiful form of Jagannath, he lost his consciousness and fell down. And he was so heavy, the pujaris cannot lift him. Anyway, later on, he got his consciousness, and pujaris could see that, he is Nityananda. And they gave him garlands of Jagannathji, and they glorified him because he knew they met him earlier. So now Nityananda Prabhu came to Tota Gopinath to meet Gadai. So at that time, Gadadhar Pandit, as usual, he is reciting Srimad Bhagavatam. So Nityananda shouted, Gadai, Gadai, he shouted. So Nityananda came and hugged Gadadhar Pandit. So Gadadhar Pandit left the Srimad Bhagavatam, and both the brothers were very happy to see each other. Torrents of rain came in a flow from both the brothers' eyes. And then at the time, he gifted him a fine quality of rice he has got from Navadip and a silken cloth as a gift to Tota Gopinath. So with that, now since Nitai was very hungry, Gadadhar Pandit took that rice and started preparing dishes. So since Gadadhar Pandit is, he's in the mood of Radharani, says Radharani, whatever dishes, he cooked is wonderful. So that time in the temple, there's no salt. So Gadadhar ran from Tota Gopinath to the nearby sea beach, and he got some salt water, and he cooked the rice, and he didn't have anything. There he just sannyasi, Khetra sannyasi, right? So he picked up some tamarind leaves or simple tamarind leaves, and nearby some saag was the spinach, and he started preparing. So once the bhoga is done, cooked, then he offered the bhoga to Gopinath. Same time, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu rushed by shouting, Gadai, Nitai, he's shouting. Then he told Gadai, you have cooked a feast for Nityananda, how come you did not invite me? Anyway, if you don't invite me also, I will come and eat with you, because I am not different from both of you. So like this, after this, both Gadai, Nitai and Nimai, they sat down and they honored the Mahaprasad. And after that, all the three brothers beautifully, they were, immersed in the Harikatha and Srimad Bhagavatam study by the Gadadhar Pandit. Now all the Goswamis, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu instructed to learn Srimad Bhagavatam from Tota Gopinath, from Gadadhar Pandit. Now, with this, I just wanted to end here. So there is a nice, here basically Prabhupada has told that This modern literature cannot feed our soul, and the Srimad Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita is not different from the Lord. Now, just one second. Now, during Srila Prabhupada's morning walk conversation in Nairobi, one devotee asked Srila Prabhupada, "How do you know that we are chanting properly?" So Prabhupada told, "You just chant." Then again, the devotee asked, "Srila Prabhupada, please tell us, what is the difference in quality chanting and pure chanting?" Prabhupada again told, "Just chant." Then devotee told, "Prabhupada, I am chanting, but I want to understand what is quality chanting and what is not a quality chanting." Then Prabhupada responded, "In quality chanting, there is no question of 16 rounds. It is 16 million rounds. You never become satiated with 16 rounds. You just chant and chant and chant. Anyway, you cannot chant 16 million rounds, so you just chant your 16 rounds." So here, basically in the same mood, we see that Gadadhar Pandit and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, they are no different from the Supreme Personal Godhead, but still they are never satisfied with the Harikatha. They are doing it again and again. So we are reciting here every day Srimad Bhagavatam, we all are attending. Today I'm just thinking maybe one day I can imbibe the 1% mood of this, and this same Harikatha I can listen every day. So with this I want to end here. So I think a little bit I got over time. Sorry about that. So